Man, I'm just working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P, and a lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
One more time. Good afternoon, man. Good evening. Good morning. What's good with you? Welcome to Let's Go Live with Lamont King. You are live right now with Lamont King. I am Lamont King, and we are live, man. Welcome back to the world. We made it. Good to see you. The whole weekend done passed, and you survived. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? He needs give him around the place, because if it wasn't for him or her, it could have gone the other way. It could have gone the other way. Y'all can be anywhere you want to be in the world today, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it, man. Thank you for tuning into the program. Shout out to people listening right now in Forestville, Maryland. Is the hot spot today. We have 4 viewers paying attention right now in Forestville, Maryland. Shout out to you and yours. All my people on the West Coast, what up? Everybody global, what up? Everybody watching the show, thumbs up on the check-in, thumbs up on the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, thumbs up. If you happen to be watching on the Humor Mill app, thumbs up. Let us know what it is. Download the app, click on D.L. Hughley's face, and you'll see live comedy TV, and it'll have the show. So if you're driving right now, you can just do it right in the app and pipe it through your system. Pipe it through. Pause. And get us going that way. All right, we are broadcasting live from Tiny Closet Studios, the home of Tiny Closet content, man. All types of stuff coming out of the closet in store. You see the new intro. You see it. There's a lot of things going on. We moving over here. 100% viewer supported by viewers like you. So we appreciate all that. That's why we were late today. We were late today because I was waiting for some payments to clear. And so we had to do that. And there's Cash App, because you can do the standard. It's 2 days when you cash out Cash App, or you can do it right now for like 35 cents. So I had to wait. I had to wait for it to clear because I don't want no money off my money. And the money goes to a good cause, and that cause is B cause. We are trying to do a certain amount of things here in Tiny Closet Studios, and we can't do it without resources. So that's what that is. Speaking of which, we got some new partners from last week. Quick PSA from one of our sponsors, and here's what you can do. This is a brilliant setup that we have. Block Captain Raul Rubio from Brooklyn, New York. He's a block captain. He's a neighborhood community organizer, and he wanted to support the show and have a PSA. I don't want to butcher it, so here's what it is. I want to make sure I got it right. So public service announcement. On behalf of Raul Rubio, we want to shout out and acknowledge the New York Blood Center and local blood banks. Please, when and if you can, donate blood platelets and convalescent plasma. This is from one of our viewers, Raul Rubio. On behalf of the New York Blood Center and local blood banks, please, when and if you can, donate blood platelets and convalescent plasma. All right. And I'll tell you why. He suffered a loss recently, and that place was one of the places that really tried to treat his loved one. That's the short of it. And so he said that place was really, really doing some tremendous work. So he wanted to do a PSA and a shout out on their behalf. So he donated, sponsored to us so that we could get that out to y'all. So there it is, man. We international. Shout out to Raul Rubio, man. Been listening since day one. Appreciate y'all. Let's get that. Let's get it. Let's get it. You too. If you got an organization that you want to support, you want to donate to, you too can be a sponsor and invest in the show. So there's that. Ray, what up? One of our originals. I see the Peanut Gallery. Good to see y'all, man. It's only 5 of y'all, but it's all good. We're going to make it through today. All right. Still on housekeeping. Become a patron. Join us in Patreon. We got a nice little situation over there. A lot of content. You can watch my old stuff. YouTube has really limited my functionality until I get to 1,000 subscribers. We're close, but we're not there. Facebook has really limited my functionality for whatever reason. They just like to do their own thing. So jump on over to Patreon. You see all the content, and we keep it moving. And I like Patreon because it'll show you how many people have patronized the account. So when you go in there, you're like, oh, I'm not the only one. It's 4 other people. And then you feel better. So there's that. All right. And what else? And I'll try this. We're going to try to open up the phone line today. The phone line. So it's that number. Write it down. Don't commit it to memory. It's a Google Voice. I don't need to hear all of the. We're going to try to get you on. But I would prefer if you want to jump on the show, you got an opinion, you want to talk about it, we'll take you on the Skype line. Just go get Skype right quick. You should have it. You should still have it. And the name is Let's Go Live. That's the profile. Just hit us up and I'll bring you right on the show. You can do audio too. We don't have to show your face. We know how some of y'all are. You're still hiding in the COVID era. It's all good though. All right, man. It's good too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ray. That money's going. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm not. Ray, listen. Hold on. Let me put this out there. Listen. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got the sponsorship, the new intro. I got a haircut. Like, listen, the money is not. I'm not playing with your money. Like, we have an account set aside for resources that benefit the production value of this show. So you are a part of the show when you donate and sponsor us. This ain't no play. This is a real situation. Guest, you know what I mean? We're trying to get real legit guests on here every day. Some people be like, well, what's the honorarium? And I was like, well, Your Honor, it's rare that we give you some money. You know what I'm saying? So it's rare that we But yeah, we use our resources to do some things. All right, let's talk about it, man. A lot happened this weekend. Some funny, some not so funny. Strange times we living in, ladies and gentlemen. And sometimes you just got to sit back and look and try to figure out what it is that's really happening. I didn't want to talk about Conye at first. I'll just put it out there. I didn't want to talk about it at first because he seemed like he's very troubled. And a lot of people are throwing this tag, with Charlemagne the God and Van Lathan, who have really dealt with mental health issues and have done a lot for bringing awareness to mental health. I think it's one of those things that in 2020 is on our radar, and everybody thinks they know what mental health issues look like now, whereas we never did before because Black people don't go to therapy. So now everybody's a doctor, right? And whatever you want to believe about Conye, and a lot of it is not funny. So that's why I struggled with bringing it to the program today, because I didn't want to start the week off like that. A lot of it is not funny. His behavior in the last 5 to 7 years has been really, really like questionable. And his recent outbursts are just like, now we're used to it. And so we're in this mentally health awareness space now in 2020 where it's like, oh, somebody get him some help. Oh, everybody's like, everybody's diagnosing him. Oh, he's definitely manic. He's definitely bipolar. As if we went to school and got degrees, and we haven't. So I was trying to wait till tomorrow to speak with our resident mental health clinician, Brian Bailey, to really lay out and unpack, if you will, some of the things that we're watching happening with Conye. So I'll leave the serious portion of that conversation for the next show. But let me find the clip. I wasn't even gonna give this no energy because I feel like the more energy we give it, it's like a train wreck. You can't stop watching it. But the more energy we give it, the more energy we're taking away from something else more important. And also we validate his efforts. I said some time ago, because this show is very prophetic. We know that. Some of y'all regulars, you know what time it is. I said, yo, whenever he is ready to drop new music, he gonna wild out. And you gonna hear from him. When he don't have new music to drop, you're not gonna hear from him. Sure enough, he had this little campaign rally in South Carolina, North Charleston, over the weekend. And he spazzing, spouting his own same old weird rhetoric. And sure enough, it comes out that he's supposed to be dropping a new album. And I'm like, yo, but you playing with people because you're influential. You're still influential. Regardless if you make decent music or not, regardless if people think you fell off or if people put you in the category of being a whole weirdo, you are still influential. And it's still people like legit paying attention to you and hanging on every word. There's a whole generation that really thinks this is the only Kanye that has ever existed. So they like it because he's being free, and he's, this is that. I call them the shareables. These are the shareables, and they identify with his actions and his behavior. So a whole bunch of people 25 and under, even 30 and under, that don't remember music making Kanye, cool Kanye, quirky square Kanye. It's literally a whole generation. Tamika says he's influencing the uneducated. That may be true, but think about it. The uneducated, that's a large group. I mean, the uneducated put a whole weirdo in the White House. Like what'd he say? We love the poorly educated. So even though he's influenced, he may not be influencing you or I or someone who's like, I can see right through it. But there's a group where they might be, they're kind of like, even if they're not taking him seriously, even if he's not all the way credible, there's a group that's like, yeah, Kanye, man, he don't give a F. Kanye don't be caring. And there's a population who thinks that that's how you're supposed to conduct yourself. He don't be caring. He wild. So nah, man. So I'm not gonna play the clip. I may save it for tomorrow. Y'all have seen it. I may save, and I can't find it, but I may save it for tomorrow with a mental health clinician. But here's the discussion, right? So I posted this today just to see where y'all was at. Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer, says, you heard it here first. Conservatorship. Kim is giving him enough rope for it to happen. You might have to call in and explain that. But here's what I posted earlier. I said, yo, it's not a cry for help. He's not mentally ill. He's just an asshole. And when people throw that mental health tag on him, there's other people that are more important to get that association. Like he's not the face of mental health issue. I think, sure, he's burnt out. Sure, he lost his mom. Sure, he's been through a lot. Sure, he's no privacy. He's lived a weird celebrity privileged life. But nah, I can't hang that tag on him and give him a pass. Like he's not just. Who am I to say who among you? Who am I to say that that's the only thing that's wrong with him? It's not. He could be any number of things, but he is an asshole. He's self-absorbed, narcissistic, self-centered. And what I feel is important, the reason why people are so emotional now and so polarized now is because when he does shit like this in these days and times, a lot of us are like, yo, now ain't the time, Jack. This ain't what we need. You playing. Like we've been serious for 3 months. And you come out here playing, talking about you running for president. and doing stuff like as if, right? Interviews and campaign rallies and trying to get on the ballot when we know it's like it's fruitless. And we know it's borderline, it's buffoonery. Like, okay, Trump made it bad because he basically took a position that we all revered and held in high esteem, and he basically shit on it and made it he makes it look like anybody can do it. That's the drawback to President Trump. That's the part that that's one of the drawbacks that nobody talks about. He shit on the presidency so much that he made everybody believe that anybody can do it. That's why, a year ago, we had 2011 candidates, for 2020. So now that anybody thinks they can do it, everybody's going to try to do it, whether they plan or not. You used to didn't play with shit like that. You legit, really, whether you like the person in office or not, you took the office of the president seriously. People don't do that no more because of the current president. So when you got celebrities like, oh, I'll do it. Now, he's not the first celebrity, okay? Ronald Reagan, whoever you want to throw in there. But at least they were politicians of some sort with some political background. When Trump gets in as a businessman and a charlatan and a buffoon and as a child of the ghetto, a product of the ghetto, which he is, then it took the veil off. It took all that off. It'd be like, yo, anybody really can do it if they got enough money and can get the votes. So now you got people that got money and with a little bit of influence, this tomfoolery and shenanigans. You know what I mean? Like when Conye first said, I'm running, I was like, music is coming. He's not serious. They're like, no, he's going to split the vote. He's working with Trump. He ain't working with nobody. He's an attention whore. And I can say this because I've studied him. I used to be a humongous fan of Conye. He's an attention whore. Creatively, he's up there. I'm not going to even waste the G word on him, but creatively, he's up there. Super talented. He put things together. But he's an attention whore. And this whole thing right now, playing with the election, is detrimental because not even just splitting the vote, it just further makes us not look at the leader of the free world as a serious position because everybody plays with it. So is he, because we can't say crazy no more. That's a bad word, but is he crazy? Is he self-centered? Is he having a mental breakdown? What do y'all think, man? Or is he just being a dick? Let's see, John Jamerson. Hey, what's up, John? Trump, defilement of the presidency is another attempt to tear down what President Obama did. Absolutely. Oh, without question. Without question. But right now, he's wasting time. Like we was focused on something. Like this is where I see it's problematic, right? And he don't get no points for this. And for everybody that's defending him on social media, I was going to say something harsh. Everybody that's defending him on social media, give him a pass. But just last week, you were telling Nick Cannon to shut up and sit down, and you corny, and CD go talking out your ass again, and that's why you had to apologize and all that. If you said that last week, but now Conye, he needs help and we need to pray for him, and he's just lost and all that. Nah, man. Times is too serious right now. Like somebody told me on Twitter, they were like, I'm a licensed mental health practitioner, and I've seen this before, and what did they say? I got to pull it up. She was like, it's just classic signs of having a breakdown, and you can't just dismiss or discount. And I said, all right, that's fine. I said, but how can you? I didn't know you could schedule them though. You can schedule these breakdowns like when the cameras is rolling. Like, is that a thing? I didn't know you can schedule a rally so that you can, you can have a breakdown in front of everybody. Nah, man, I ain't buying it. And I think now ain't the time, man. We was in a real conversation for a good 6-8 weeks, man. We had it going, man. We were making some moves collectively and trying to figure out what we were going to do next. Now ain't the time for you to jump out there on some dumb shit, on some silly me, look at me, hear me, everybody look at me. Like this ain't time for that, man. Ain't the time, man. I said what I said. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. He one of the people. He on the list, man. I ain't the gulliest dude, but he on the list. Like if I seen him, it would. If I seen him in person, it would be hard for me not to try to slap him. I'm sorry. It just would. That just is what it is. You got the list. Everybody got one or two on their list. Where if I just seen him, it'd be I keep the arm down because you know what I mean. I don't promote violence or condone it. All right, anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. And now there are other people who are dealing with mental health issues, and it's unfortunate. So I want to acknowledge that because over the weekend there was also a situation with Tamar Braxton. I don't have all the details, so I'm not one of those people that talk based on headlines. So we just wish her and her family well, whatever she's going through. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. So if you need more juice and details, just do your Googles and go see it. And we also are still sending our energy to Nick Cannon, man, because last week was rough. We live in a 48-hour news cycle, man. Two days, and you at the top of everybody's mental radar Rolodex. 2 days later, nobody's thinking about you. So. Right now, but I'm sure he's still dealing with his issue, trying to figure out what's next. Did he lose it all? Can he come back? So send some energy to Nick Cannon too, man. Shout out to Nick, because that was a sacrifice fly if I ever seen one. All right, let's come back to it. Let's get back. How y'all doing though? That's for real. Big Mike. Oh, what up, Mike? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. They say you got about 10 people he want to smack. Who name them though? Who are they? We want to know. If you could smack somebody, now, we're not promoting violence, but if you could, in a dream scenario, if you could smack somebody, just type it in there. I'm gonna read some of them off. Who would you smack and why? In so many words. We don't need no soliloquies. But if you could smack somebody, who would it be? That's a good question. All right, West Coast people, man, be on alert, man. They trying to pull a fast one, man. Portland, Oregon. I don't know if y'all aware of this. They got these clandestine police agency force that the federal government is using to run test ops experiments on that little area. I forgot the name of the area, but there's an area downtown near the courthouse where protesters have been protesting for like 60 days straight. And news coverage faded away, just like, our nightly news has moved on, but they're still out there protesting. Not sure who's on the ground doing the protesting, but there has been small amounts of property damage, but mostly peaceful, in what they call the autonomous zone, the Chad, I believe, the autonomous zone. So it's been made aware that the federal government is running these little experiments. All right, follow me, man. Listen. Let me paint the scenario. I wasn't there, but apparently, at night, while the peaceful protesters are walking and chanting in circles, unmarked vehicles with police personnel jump out with unidentified uniforms and just snatching people off the street and throwing them in these detainment facilities, blindfolded, zip tied, blindfolded. At gunpoint. Peaceful, unarmed protesters. I'm talking about the dozens. And it's becoming a nightly thing. And there are some who believe that they're practicing to use this in other cities. Now, you got to ask yourself, all right, who's running the city of Portland? Well, that would be a Democratic mayor. And the mayor and your Republican president have been at odds on how to handle the situation in that city. So the federal government has taken it upon itself to send in an unmarked, unnamed police force out of uniform and to basically kidnap and detain illegally American citizens. on U.S. soil. Now, I'm sideways about this. I'm like, man, I done read the history books. That's like the ultimate no can do in America. So I read this one story today about this veteran who's like, I'm sitting at home watching this. He was I believe he was an Air Force veteran. He had done some tours overseas or whatever. And he said, nah, I'm going down there. I'm putting my uniform on so they'll know what time it is. And I'm going down there because I took an oath. And if they're law enforcement, they took an oath and they should know federal troops don't activate on American soil. That's like code. That's like civics 101. So he goes down there and he said, hey, brother, brother in service, right? Military, whatever. It's like, what are y'all doing? What's the nature? Who sent you? Bzzz, bzzz, pepper spray. They get him on the ground, whooped the snot out of him, broke his hands and everything. Threw him in a I can't even say jail because they didn't take him to jail. They blindfolded him, took him to a detained facility, which is later found out was the basement of the courthouse, and then didn't charge him with anything, and then let him go. Update is being reported that your president is sending a number of these, I don't even know what to call them, troops, officers, to Chicago. Because again, who's the mayor of that city? Got to ask yourself. Democrat, Lori Lightfoot. They've been getting into it too. Hey man, like it's really, we back to watching soccer and golf, and we're waiting on football. But this shit is really still moving out here. Like there's a real live battle going on outside in these cities. That is real. If I ain't know no better, I would say that they really trying to get it popping before November. Like really still. They're not okay. Vigilantes, they're special ops vigilantes, and they ain't vigilantes. These is folks, hired folks. These is I can't even what would be the word for that? Like I want to say, I watched too many movies. I want to say mercenaries, but y'all gonna take that the wrong way. But it's not the local police. It's not the National Guard. The FBI said it wasn't them. And they coming out in these tactical uniforms with just the word police, and they say, per the Geneva Convention. Do your Googles. I don't know everything. Per the Geneva Convention, like law enforcement officers have to wear identifying signage at some point. It can't just be like police or special police and shit like that. But that's what they're doing. So they're getting ready for these bigger cities to go in and do work. Yo, this is a problem. This is a problem because we don't see it because it's in Portland. But when they get to these big cities and cats is out there like, nah, y'all ain't gonna be doing that here, and then they like, oh, yes, we are. And the cats in the hood is like pew pew, and they over there like, it's gonna be a situation. So pay attention, man. Do your Googles. Look up on that. Yeah, y'all using the word militia. That's probably it ain't militia. It's not militia. These are sworn officers, but don't nobody know which agency. And they're sent in by the federal government. So that means they're trying to usurp the boundaries of the local jurisdiction. Listen, hey, above my pay grade, man, I don't want to get too heady. I just want y'all to be aware of that because I saw that. Somebody sent me that. So when it happened, you can be like, oh, they said that on Let's Go Live. That's what the dude was talking about that one time. So yeah. There's a lot going on, man. July's almost over. The summer just started and it's almost over. It is almost over. It's July 20th already. I shouldn't have said the date in case I wanted to play this video again. But hey, summer's almost over, man. We got to figure it out. Kids, I hear kids in the state of Maryland, they just washed 2020, 2021 school year. They just washed it. Is that true, Mr. Clarkson? Did I hear that right? My executive producer. So they just said, yeah, for fall and spring, all virtual. Get your G's up. If you ain't got your 5 G's, get your G's up. That's what they said. Crazy. and now they're trying to demand and command that your kids in some areas go back to school. They're like, what's the problem? Your kids need to be in school. How y'all feel about that? Anybody want to Skype in? Give me a DHS. Yeah, they were saying that they were DHS agents, which are still federal officers or troops on domestic soil, which is like a super no-no. You know, anybody in the military, like this, that's their number one thing that they've campaigned against. No federal or military officers or troops on domestic soil. They hate that. All right. Yeah, who got kids, man? If you got kids, call in, man. I want to know what you want your if they drop. This is all I want to know. Skype in or call in, one at a time. Don't everybody at once. If you got kids, right, and they drop the vaccine Labor Day, and they say school start on Monday, Tuesday after Labor Day. You in or you out? That's all I want to know. You in or you out? I would love to hear that. I'm interested. I'm interested to know if you in or you out. Because we had this conversation at work today. People talk a good game, what they wouldn't do, what they ain't going for. I wish they would. I want to know. Skype in if you got it. All right, Mr. Clarkson. Let's see right here. Hold on a second. Your audio or video? What you doing today? Oh, you got the audio. Hold on. Oh, you got the video. All right, hold on. Let me get you in here. As you're going back, now Mr. Clarkson is an award-winning educator as well, so he has a different perspective, and he also has a child in the school system. So let me see. Our executive producer right here.
Hey,
Mr. Clarkson, good afternoon. How you feel?
Hey, man, doing great, man. Can't complain. It's funny because you got Tiny Closet Studios. I'm up there working out of Tiny Classroom Studios.
Okay.
My man cave into a classroom now.
So wait a minute. I see. Since our last conversation, I spy a ring light.
That's correct.
Ah, yes.
I had to step up my game a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually hit you with the little light action. You know what I'm saying? I can go boom. I can go a little darker.
Yeah. Sepia, a little sepia tone. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to match up with my tone or whatever.
Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, that's a nice upgrade, man. Nice upgrade.
My school actually paid for this.
Oh, well, even better.
Yeah, because now what they're doing is they've given all of the teachers $100 stipend. Like that's going to do a lot to upgrade their life as far as in this digital world, as far as what can they do and everything else.
Right. That's what's up. All right. So what's it looking like for? I know you're in the state of Maryland. What's it looking like? Are y'all in or y'all out?
So my son's in Maryland, and they're talking about they're going to go back at the earliest, possibly January, looking at the lay of the land. And then as far as in DC, the school that I'm currently at, they said October, but they're going to look at the lay of the land before they make a call one way or the other.
Right.
Overall, it's a bad decision because tested cure means it's going to be okay. Other than that, it's not the move.
Tested cure means it's going to be okay. No, but what I'm saying is, if they drop that vaccine Labor Day, are you in or you out?
Not going to be able to do it. Not going to.
What's going to be your justification for declining? What does that even mean?
Hey,
if they say this how I see it's going to happen. It's going to play out like this. We got the vaccine, mandatory that you get it, or you can't continue doing what it is that you're doing. Like schools will be just like with regular vaccines. Like, your schedules every year, you got to have the babies go preschool and all that. Same way. And then your job and they say you gotta get the vaccine so you can come back in class. You saying no to that?
No. I'm not. I think what's going to wind up happening is that just because I'm essential doesn't mean that I'm sacrificial.
Oh, nice.
And I think that's
like
the
that.
problem that we're having currently in understanding the plight of the teacher. Like in Florida, we have a school system that's forcing the teachers to go back. And that's really dangerous because, especially for our younger scholars, you're telling me between the age of K through 5, you're going to manage those type of behaviors of somebody having a mask on and everything else. I mean, there was even a plan of having some kids come on one day and some kids come on another day, or teachers rotating from class to class. All of it's dangerous. All of it's dangerous without a viable cure.
All right, so your own children, right? So when they say, all right, we're ready for the scholars to come back, but the only way they can come back is if they got the, they paperwork to show that they took the vaccine, you in or you out?
See, that's still going to be so hard to prove, because due to how public education rules are set up, it's unfair to allow kids a free and viable education due to medical things. There are tons of kids that walk into school buildings that are not fully insured, ain't taking physicals and everything else. So you trust me, everybody that's going to walk back into a public school is not going to be clear to go, because everyone that's in a public school right now ain't currently clear to go.
What I get that, but like I'm saying, what if it's mandated? You don't think that's coming? You don't think that's coming?
Because I've never seen it, I don't believe it. That's the thing about it. Because I'm just gonna call it as it is.
What about Jesus?
there you go. No, but honestly,
walk by sight, brother.
I know. I've sadly seen kids play a lot of DC sports that ain't never taken a physical because they good. Everything's okay. So because schools need them numbers, we're gonna look the other way. Hey man, little Johnny over there coughing, but ain't nobody give him the 4A test. Hey man, little Johnny's body in the building means 11 G's and special ed, so that's gonna be 17 on him. We need him in our school.
Now that's charter schools. Is public schools the same way?
Yes.
Okay, did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Because what it is that per student and how you service them, that's how you generate, of course, just funding and your like role. How do you pay people? Yeah,
that's real. And it's a different way to look at it, because I saw a meme that really like hit home to me. They were talking about how they letting prisoners out of jail because of COVID, but they trying to force your kids to go back to school. And I'm like, yeah, that is weird, because that's basically the same sharing space. It's the same thing.
I feel bad for our special education scholars who live and die off of kinetic education, meaning be able to touch things, be able to do all these various things, and this digital platform just doesn't allow that. It doesn't allow it to happen. My biggest complaint is that of all these months that we've been out of the schoolhouse, the best idea that you could come up with is y'all should go back.
Right. You know what? We've been sitting around the table, and we've put out some research groups, some focus groups, and we've just decided we should just go back.
We'll go back. Unless y'all in the building, it needs to be good.
And we'll alternate.
And worse yet, you got to bring your lunch. And we know that some of y'all can't afford to bring y'all lunch because of your economic status in your house.
We'll have A team on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that'll keep them separated. B team on Tuesday and Thursday, and they'll be separated. Somebody, well, what if they play together at home because they live in the same neighborhood? We'll just go back. We'll just go back.
Just go back. It's all a mess, man.
Yeah.
I feel extremely bad for teachers and students involved, because the educational gaps that are been in existence, they're getting ready to get a lot wider, and it's about to get really bad. So ain't nobody failing.
Nobody's failing. So, but all right, let's talk about educational gaps, though. With regards to what, though? I mean, what are they going to be missing compared to the lives that all of us adults live, where we don't use trigonometry, we don't use British lit,
correct?
Chemistry. We live in adult lives completely removed from any of that. So will there be a gap?
Because there are kids that are in their assigned grade level that are reading at least three grade levels behind.
Okay, well, there's that.
And then, of course, the fact that, there are kids that cannot identify certain numbers. that are in their certain grade level. So because we are a school, we are a school culture in the United States where we don't emphasize trade.
Right.
If you don't get,
That's where I was going.
if you don't get the steak, then there's no room for you to get anything else. Like you, and so that's why it's going to be so problematic, because at least when in the face-to-face schoolhouse, we can kind of gear some kids toward, well, maybe you need to look at a trade, or maybe you need to look into possibly the military, maybe you need to look into an apprenticeship. But see, all that's going to be missing.
Oh, maybe you should look into a life of crime, because that's all that's left.
And you know, how well are you? Can you steal some stuff? You know, you can become a scammer. I don't know.
Yeah, scammers is big right now. But I look at it like this, and I told some people recently, I was like, all right, they were afraid to homeschool, and I was like, all right, think about it like this: your child 13, 14, you need to cooking, cleaning, taking care of themselves. Like this is class. This is 8 hours of class a day. Changing that tire,
right?
Changing that, swapping that engine block out. It's like those practical things that we never got in school, but really teach you how to be a survivor and a functioning citizen. You know what I mean? Right. Teach me how to cut that hair, or to landscape, or paint. General contracting, like you said, right. Trades. Like, I feel like now is that time. If you got a teenager, a preteen, or whatever, you really can take it back to the 1900s, where by 12 you had you were licensed to do some shit at 12,
right,
back in the day,
and you could do it quite well.
Yeah, right. And I feel like now is one of those times where that whole I feel like what academia had turned into is just a system of control and wasting time. Like we got your kids learning these things that they will never use for 12 years of their life, just to keep them in order, to create consumers. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like now you can really, math, numbers, reading, problem solving, critical thinking. Yeah, right. Those are all necessary. But the stuff that they bring home and now that it's missing, start over and do something else.
I agree. See, the school system now, and I'm saying this as an educator, school system now is built on kids going to college. That's it. And that's not even, like, for example, the great American inventor is dead. Is dead. Like, go to a fifth grader and talk to them about the possibility of them being an inventor. They will look at you as if they're crazy. So just a nerd moment for 2 seconds. Like Sir Ken Robbins, he does this test called the paperclip test. Okay. And of course, with the paperclip test, he talks to kindergartners and says, how many things can you create with this paperclip? And the kids say, oh, how big can it be? How small can it be? Does it have to be made out of metal? Does it have to be foam? Kids come up with 200, 300 some reasons or possibilities of how to use this paperclip in an inventor's mindset. By the 7th grade, kids can only come up with 30 or 40. If their education has gotten better, why has their creative thinking gotten worse? And that's what I say, that it's the death of the American inventor. We school children to death, that we've killed their creativity and their ability to dream. So the kids only focus on, I got to go to college because this is the only way. Right. No one sees barber, mechanic, knowing that you and your mechanic probably drive a better car than you.
Yeah. Yeah. Tattoo artists, body piercer. I mean, these are needed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially in today's society, what people are into. You're right. And tech is wonderful. It's expansive. It's wide open. But I always have this thing in the back of my head, and of course, I go worst case scenario. But left field, I always had this thing. What if it's a power outage that lasts 60 days?
Oh, I got you one better.
Like, tech is just over. If you can't log on or the power's out, you short.
Oh, the new way the kids skipping class now is that they change their name to connecting.
Yes. Yeah.
Or they done got so hip, they'll take a screenshot of themselves like this.
Yeah. And be in class.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's swift. Yeah, but they so tech savvy. But I'm like, yo, if I be like, yo, when the electricity go out, like, what you gonna do? If all you can do is tech and internet, and then the power go out, you short.
Short. Super short.
Super short.
Yeah. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah, that's where we are.
Right now. So.
Well, I appreciate it. So you've brought us to the understanding that you will not be taking the vaccine, you or your children, and you'll just be,
I want to see some solid tests before we jump. You jumping out there? No.
Yeah, you'll be distance learning in the forest somewhere, teaching your son Tai Chi or something with both of y'all growing beards and all of that. And
hey man, we out here beard gang.
Yeah, I see. You said solid test. Now how they're already saying that there are 2 vaccines right now that are doing well in trials. I don't know what that means. I still feel it's too early. What's a solid test?
That's cool. Just show me the white people.
Yeah, there you go. That's a solid test.
Sorry.
Now that's
didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that anytime Bill Gates and his wife can sit there and say, black people and yeah, give it to the Africans. Yeah, because they should get it first, and they said they should get it first.
Yeah.
And then Tucker Carlson, he was talking about there was a school district in Washington State where they were like they just verbally said no. The school's going to be open before the black and Hispanic kids. They're going to go first, followed by the white kids. Like this is being verbalized.
Set up.
Verbalized. And I told y'all, I hate to beat a dead horse to death. I told y'all in January, stop with that underlying condition shit. And people think, no, Lamont, I went to med school and black people are disreported. And I was like, I don't care about none of that. Stop saying it because what they're doing is programming you and training you to buy into it.
Right.
So that when they start these moves, you're like, oh, yeah, they did say black people get it more. And then they send your ass back and start the trickery and you get the vaccine first because you have underlying conditions. But anyway.
Like I said, the governor of Georgia is suing the governor of Atlanta.
The mayor of Atlanta. Yeah.
But of course, he's sitting up there telling people, well, everyone should be wearing them.
Right.
Come on, bro. Pick a side.
And then your president, he came in to the Department of Defense or Pentagon or wherever he was with the mask on for the first time ever last week, walking in with the generals.
Last week.
Yeah, with the generals or whatever last week. You've been saying don't wear it and you don't need it this whole time. Now you slow walking around the corner for a photo op with the mask on. Now that told me something coming. That's what that told me.
He got it.
I don't know if he got it, but something coming. Because he been campaigning real hard against Fauci, and then all of a sudden he has it on. Something, hey man, trickery. The trickery.
I'm gonna roll with the Simpsons on this one. And I'm just gonna be quiet. The Simpsons predict a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You show me the episode. Send me a link.
All right, well, you got it.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate it, Mr. Clarkson. That's our EP. Talking about the schools and the vaccine, man. Your kids. If they say your kids gotta have it to go back, what you doing? What are you doing? All right. Oh yeah, they said the reason why because the Department of Defense is not playing. It's like, sir, you gonna wear that mask in here, sir? Mask up. All right. We've reached the end of the program. Hey man, this was fun, man. Move real fast, and y'all was into it. I appreciate y'all, doing what it is that you do. And right about now, we try to leave on a lesson, man. Every time, whenever we can, we leave on a lesson in the segment when we hear from a word from our elders in the segment I like to call Hi Dad. Hold on a second. Let's hit it.
Happy everyday, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflections. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. We lost 2 icons this weekend on the same day. Reverend T.C. Vivian and the Honorable John Lewis. They both fought in the struggle for us and with us. They both received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Reverend C.T. Vivian was Martin Luther King's field general. He also created a college readiness program to help children that were kicked out of school for protesting racism. United States Department of Education used his program as a guide to create Upward Bound. The Honorable John Lewis was known as the moral conscience of the Congressional Black Caucus. I remember very clearly back to the 1963 March on Washington when organizers would not let him give the speech that he had prepared to give on that day. They made him change and tone it down before he was allowed on the podium. His words then and now will always stay with me. Here are some of the words to remember. In 1963, he stated, "We want to be free now." And the one most recent, "He is not my president." Rest in peace, my brothers. Peace and blessings. Alpha Papa, signing off.
All right, there you have it, folks. Well, that does it for our show for today. How about a round of applause for our elder? Yeah. Dropping knowledge every chance we can get, man. Soaking it up. Do your Googles, man. Verify. Always trust and verify. Get two sources. Don't believe it just because he said it, even though it's true. So there's that, man. Also join us. Shout out to Drunken Fruit. I ain't mentioned them. Drunken Fruit earlier. I see y'all in the chat. Make sure you go over there, visit, get them online sales situated to get your situation situated. Become a patron. We talked about that earlier. And follow me on all social media. I need that. Got to get these numbers up. I enjoy rapping with y'all each and every day. We got podcasts coming. We got other one-off interviews, exclusives. We got the live stream. We got a lot going, man, on my social media. So just if you see something, share something. All right. And let's see what else. And I think that's it. We're supposed to have Roland Martin on today. But we ran out of time. So Roland, thanks for standing by. As always, we'll try to get you on tomorrow. And the rest of y'all be safe. And hey, see you in a minute.
Man, I'm just working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious. I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.